Now at 5, anxious to reopen. Protesters back in Olympia today calling on Governor Inslee to reopen the state immediately. Plus, to style or stay home. While some Oregon hairdressers say they are ready to serve customers, others are pushing back. A look at the petition to keep hands-on services out of the first phase of reopening. But first, as communities across the country tackle safety and reopening the economy, how close are metro areas to be back up and running?
Washington County wants to reopen as much as anybody.
We'll dig deeper into what Washington County is doing. Your news at 5 starts now. Good evening, everyone. Thanks so much for being here with us. I'm Brittany Falkers. It really is weekends like this with the sunny, summer-like weather that have us itching to get back to any sense of normalcy. Oregon's governor just announced a 3-phase plan to restart public life again. While some rural counties could start phase 1 as early as next week, more populated areas will be waiting weeks or even months before that happens. Washington County Director of Health and Human Services, Marnie Kiles, estimates that the county could start opening in early to mid-June.
It's going in the right direction, and we just need to say thank you to our residents and community members who have been staying home and saving lives and flattening that curve. It's because of you that we're moving towards the ability to reopen.
When areas are ready to apply for the first phase depends on a set of criteria, including declining COVID-19 cases, testing ability, and having enough quarantine facilities. Another factor, contact tracing, which is a big hurdle for Washington County and really all counties. Kyle says they plan to recruit and train about 100 people for contact tracing, doubling her department's workforce. For more on the governor's 3-phase plan, just head to kgw.com. Now, you may remember a petition that was going around urging the governor to let hairdressers get back to work. Well, now we're hearing from a different group of hairstylists standing on the other side of the fight to reopen. Morgan Romero tells us why they started a petition trying to keep hands-on services out of the first phase of reopening.
Hi.
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 Nikki, Nicola, Gabby, and Katie all work at different salons in Portland.
I'm a stylist at 220 Salon, one of the owners, and a stylist at Sweethearts Salon.
And I'm a stylist at Ritual Beauty Collective. I am a stylist and manager at Rock, Paper, Scissors Salon on Hawthorne.
But all came together with the same unified message to push back on the state's plan to include hairstylists in phase 1 of reopening.
I found the suggestion that we should go back to work in phase 1 reckless. There's no way to cut anyone's hair or to color anyone's hair without touching them.
They can understand why many hairstylists around the state are fighting for the opposite.
I can only speak for myself, and what I need is to provide for my family.
They haven't seen an unemployment check or PPP loan come in.
I have a small child I have to take care of, and I have to make sure I feed him.
Still, they don't feel it's worth risking their own health and safety, their families, their clients, or the communities.
Theoretically, we have a choice to open or not open. And I really understand the position of hairstylists who are saying, like, we need to go back to work.
What we should be focusing on as a community is not sending us in as test pilots to see how it goes, but to get us all the financial relief that we need so that our businesses can stay afloat.
Salons and personal care businesses will have to follow strict requirements. Employees have to wear PPE, space clients out at least 6 feet, limit the number of people inside a space, screen clients before they come in, and keep a list of clients.
The fact that our clients have to be 6 feet apart, but we don't, is very dehumanizing.
I would like to stop and look and observe and really know what I'm getting myself into. I think, and we have to make sure we have the PPE, and I don't feel comfortable fighting for it when I know that there's people who really need it.
When they open with those new rules, hairdressers say they'll have to scale back everything.
We're actually going to be in a financial deficit. Not only because we still have to pay all of our overhead, we have to be running and have the salon open, but we won't be bringing in as much money, and we'll be spending more money on the PPE.
They worry that could force salons and hairstylists out of business.
We have been discussing a COVID fee where we have to add money onto each service to be able to make it.
It completely changes everything. Is it worth it?
No.
But when salons actually reopen depends on when the county they're in meets a set of strict guidelines. And the Portland metro area's top health official says it'll be at least 3 to 4 weeks before they can even apply to enter the first phase. Morgan Romero, KGW News.
Thank you, Morgan. Meanwhile, a large group of people gathered at the state capitol in Olympia today to rally against Washington Governor Jay Inslee's stay-at-home order. Protesters want the governor to lift the order and allow businesses to reopen immediately.
I swore an oath 20 some odd years ago when I was in the military, when I joined the military. And I'm just trying to uphold that oath. I feel that we are blatantly, our constitutional rights are blatantly under attack across the whole of the United States.
Governor Inslee has announced a 4-phase approach to reopening the state, with at least 3 weeks in between each phase. Washington is currently in phase 1 of the Safe Start plan. It allows low-risk construction to resume. Retailers can now offer curbside pickup for orders, and some recreation like hunting, fishing, golfing, and hiking has been allowed to resume. Well, let's get a check on the latest case numbers here in the Northwest. Let's start with Washington. The state is now reporting 921 deaths, and the number of confirmed cases has risen to more than 16,600. In Oregon, health officials say 3 more people died from the virus today. That brings the total to 127. 79 new positive cases were also reported, bringing that total to 3,111. And at least 26 of those who have tested positive are workers at a seafood plant in Astoria. The Daily Astorian says the Bornstein Seafood Processing Facility has been closed and workers are sheltering at home in the meantime. Well, tonight, people of all different faiths are coming together to support one another and our community in this pandemic. As Christine Pradawanich shows us, their belief is that whatever your religion, the power of prayer will help us get through this tough time.
Right now, people of the Muslim faith all over the world are observing Ramadan. It's a holiday that lasts for 30 days. Believers fast from sunrise to sunset. Then they come together for what's called an iftar.
An iftar means the breaking of the fast.
This year, because of COVID-19, Ramadan and consequently iftars have been different.
Ramadan has been a very unique experience this year, given that we're all at home. We're not able to go to the mosque like we usually would.
Haris Zafar, spokesperson for the Ahmadiyya Muslim community, says normally many people come together for weekly dinners or iftars during Ramadan. But since they can't do that, the decision was made to come together virtually.
And if we're going to do that, why keep it just within our own community? Let's broaden it. Let's make it an interfaith iftar.
The virtual interfaith iftar, a first of its kind in Portland. Zoom video chats are already used for the workplace and socially to keep people connected. So why not this too?
Why can't we use it to connect spiritually as well across the spiritual communities and say that as Portlanders, we're honoring the Ramadan iftar and we're coming together to say that the power of prayer and the power of togetherness can get us through this.
It'll include speakers from different faith communities and public officials, too, like U.S. Representative Suzanne Bonamici and Portland Police Chief Jamie Resch. The hope that the event brings people comfort.
It's really about how do we see each other as, from different spiritual branches, but still part of the same tree of humanity, and finding ways to comfort and support one another through this time.
The virtual interfaith iftar begins at 7:30 tonight and lasts for just under an hour. If you're interested in attending, we've got a link up on our website, kgw.com. Christine Padawanich, KGW News.
Thanks, Christine. Well, hopefully you got a chance to get outside safely today because, man, it was just absolutely beautiful. It still is really beautiful outside with highs in the low 80s. Chris McGinnis joins us from his basement weather center. And Chris, man, we really got a taste of summer. It felt so great out there. So did we get anywhere close to some records today?
As a matter of fact, we did. We tied a record high here in Portland set back in 1987, 86 degrees at PDX. But check this out. We do a few degrees better up in Kelso. 90 for the high in Kelso, in the Kelso Longview area this afternoon. In fact, you currently sit at 88 degrees. We'll step out a little bit and give you the big picture here. Statewide and across the region, a very, very warm day here across much of the Pacific Northwest. Hit Hood River in the low 80s, Troutdale hit 84. Big picture here down in the southern part of the state. Medford hit 92. Astoria, 79, 77 in Tillamook. That's really mild for the North Coast, of course. Yesterday, Astoria actually hit a record high of 82. So today it's just a smidge cooler, but you can see a beautiful day nonetheless there as we look out from the Astoria column over the Megler Bridge. All right, right now at PDX, it's 86 degrees. The east wind still gusty, sustained at about 18, but that breeze will be ratcheting up to about 25 through the evening. And our day planner for the rest of this evening, temperatures slowly sliding back to about 80 degrees. Sunset tonight just before 8:30. If you didn't get out and enjoy the weather today, one more really nice day in the forecast tomorrow, and then some big changes coming our way. More on that in just a bit.
Good news for the moms out there. All right, thanks so much, Chris.